Hey, hey, welcome to our home. I am in the kitchen today, and as usual, I'd like to bring you with me. I know I don't bring you with me all the time. Sometimes I'm cooking things that I think you probably don't even want to see. Today is one of those days, and I know you have them, where you're just like, oh, what do I cook? I love to cook, but there are times I'm like, oh goodness, I can't think of what to cook, because sometimes what I cook is not all that healthy. So I looked in, sorry, is the truth. So I looked in my refrigerator. Do you ever have at least every couple weeks where you just need to use up some stuff, or you're gonna throw it in the garbage, okay? And that is what we're doing today. I looked in there and I found a pack of ground turkey. I found a cabbage and some bell pepper that has seen better days, but I think it's fine. We're gonna use it. Some onion and some celery that that's just about bad. So we're gonna cook it up. And as I was looking at these ingredients, I thought about something I made. I actually burned Joel out on it years ago when I was doing low carb. So this is a more healthy thing that I cook. And so he may not be super excited. Like I said, I cooked it a lot and he just kind of got sick of it. So this is a beefy cabbage skillet, except I don't have beef, I have turkey. To me, it's still a beefy cabbage skillet. I'm gonna beef it up with some beef bouillon in there. But I'm gonna get things chopped up and I'll bring you to the stove and show you how to make this beefy cabbage skillet. See you in a sec. You'll see that I chopped up my favorite veggies. I keep bell peppers, onions, and celeries in my refrigerator most of the time. You'll see I'm heavier on the onions in this recipe. I normally wouldn't even put celery in this cabbage skillet, but I had it and it was about to go bad, so it can't hurt. I love the trio of these things in food. Choose you a skillet that has a lid that's gonna fit pretty well, because we're gonna need some steam to make this cabbage cook when we get down that far. So I'm gonna turn my skillet on. This is some olive oil. I'm just gonna go around the pan a time or two because I'm trying to be a little healthier with this. Now, that sounds crazy. I'm about to make a pecan pie, caramel pecan pie. But I know people want something healthier option, so I wanted to show you this because this is low carb. But that turkey I'm gonna be using doesn't have a lot of fat in it, so I needed a little grease in here to get these going, get my veggies going. So I'm gonna transfer all this to my skillet and let it cook. I've got celery. I bet that bangs really loud in your ears on this when I'm recording. I've got to do better at being mindful of that. But I'm gonna let this cook until it's soft, okay? Because this doesn't take cabbage very long to cook. So I want these, especially this celery. Celery to me just takes longer to get the tenderness that I like. So I'm gonna cook this until it's all done and or almost done. And then I'm gonna put my turkey in here to get brown. Okay, I've had that onions, bell pepper, and celery sauteing for a little bit, and now I'm gonna dump in my ground turkey. Again, you can use ground beef. You can use venison. That's good too. We have that turkey browning, my handy little food chopper. You know, I saw a gadget, and I think it was in Walmart the other day. That's made, it's taller and skinny, but it's made to do this, apparently. Use this, it's multi-purpose, it chops nuts. Of course, you do have to be careful with this little hand chopper. It's got teeth on it, so it will ruin your non-stick skillets. But this stainless steel or cast iron, you can't hurt these things. I came back over to the island so you could see how I cut up my cabbage for this. You could do whatever, but I have a quirky little way and reason that I like to do this. So I start off and cut like big chunks all the way around. And then, okay, so the idea is low carb. So I really like noodles. And this doesn't have noodles in it. So I cut it like this. And then, let's see, it's easier when you lay it flat. And I go long ways and cut it thin And if you think really hard, doesn't that look like a noodle? I mean, when it cooks together, you just have long strips of cabbage. And to me, as I'm eating it, it's a mind thing. Whatever, y'all die laughing at me. But I promise you're gonna think this is noodles. Not really. But this is why in this dish, I cut them like a little thin strips. You should try it and you're gonna laugh. If you're eating low carb, you are totally gonna think you're eating noodles. All right, our turkey is all done. Next, I'm gonna pour in a can of Rotel. Y'all know I love some Rotel. Just makes good flavor. Turn down that stove. Now I'm gonna put, we gotta have some liquid for that cabbage to cook. I got my little tea kettle. I love this tea kettle. If you remember some of my earlier videos, I talked about my papa, and he always had a whistling tea kettle. He drank instant coffee. And I like a whistling tea kettle. I use that for my French press. So I put 2 cups in there. I've had that hot, and I'm going in with 2 beef bouillon cubes. So I want to use some beef for flavor. I'm putting them in that hot water just so they will dissolve better. And I'm gonna put a teaspoon of salt. And of course we're gonna tweak this as we go. And this is one of those things, I'm gonna show you the seasonings that I like. And then you just change and do the things that you like. About a ½ teaspoon of black pepper. I like pepper. I'm gonna do some oregano, just about a ½ teaspoon. I like some heat on it too. About a 1/4 of a teaspoon of red pepper because I'm doing the Rotel, but I like the heat of red pepper flakes. And a surprising seasoning, celery salt. So a friend told me that her family put celery salt in their potato salad, so I bought some. I had never had celery salt in my cabinet. And since then, I find that I like it on a lot of stuff. So this is a dish that I'm putting about a 1/4 a teaspoon of celery salt. Celery salt is one of those things that a dab will do you. You don't need a ton of it, but it is good. Try it if you haven't. Okay, got my seasonings in there. My beef bouillon. If you're watching your sodium, this may not be the greatest thing for you. Oh boy. Don't look at that. Don't look at that. It's a lot of sodium in a beef bouillon cube. Jeez. Just be mindful. It tastes good, but if you're watching your salt, this may not be good for you. Yikes. Alrighty. Now, I never measure my water, but since I'm showing you this, I wanted to. This is not like a soup. It's going to be liquidy, but not terribly so. All right, so I've got all those seasonings in there, and I've got them stirred around. I'm going to put my cabbage. And again, you know this is going to shrink to nothing. So this looks like a whole lot right now. I'm going to cram that lid on there, let it sit for a little bit, wilt down, and then we're going to start stirring things in. Again, if it doesn't look like I have enough water, we'll put some more. But for now, we're going to let this cook. Okay, I wanted you to see. So we've got a good little bit of juice in there, and it's cooking really well. But you could leave it just like that if you wanted it. I like mine a little bit soupier, so I'm gonna add 1 more cup of water. So that's a total of 3 cups. Oh yeah, now we're talking. So tweak your water for whatever amount of cabbage and meat that you have. This cabbage is basically done. I don't like it soggy, so I'm about to turn it off and just put the lid on it. I did add some more salt and pepper, but we like a lot of black pepper. Garlic would be good too. Let's fix us a bowl. Let's show you what I do to it. Now, if you're watching your calories and you're strictly calorie restricting, this is not that many calories. It's turkey, it's cabbage, aka noodles. That's too much. I don't want to eat that much. But I want to show you the plate. Okay, so it's a little soupy, but the reason I like a little bit of liquid is I like a dollop of cream cheese on the top. And if you're low carb, now see, even if you're watching your calories, I bought the third less fat Philadelphia cream cheese, and you can get 2 tablespoons for 60 calories. So that little dollop I just put on there wasn't a whole lot of calories, and it certainly fits your low carb. Now this, not low calorie. This is sharp cheddar that I've shredded up, and we're gonna sprinkle some on top. And that's the way we like our beefy cabbage skillet. But while it's hot, I stir in that cream cheese and it makes just delicious, creamy goodness. So when you put that cream cheese in there, and while it's hot, stir it around. See how creamy? It just makes the broth that's creamy now from that cream cheese and cheese. It is a yummy bite. And watch, see? I told y'all, mentally, spaghetti. Let me try to, I'm gonna burn my tongue off trying to show y'all me eating this. Oh, I hadn't had that in a while. Maybe Joel won't be. Seriously, I burned him out on it. Oh, that's good. You really need to do this and put a dollop of cream cheese and a little bit of cheddar in there. Okay, fix it. You'll like it.